Have you ever wondered why people might find you impolite? Well, it's often the little things that count. Politeness is more than just a social nicety. It's a key component of successful relationships, both personal and professional. The way we interact with others can dramatically affect how we're perceived, and even the smallest habits can have a big impact. So let's delve into this topic and shed some light on the importance of politeness. In the next few minutes, you'll discover the 20 habits that might be making you appear less polite. Beginning on our journey of self-awareness, here are the first 5 habits to consider. Habit 1. Interrupting others. It's easy to get excited in a conversation and jump in with our thoughts. But when we do this, it can come off as though we're not valuing what the other person has to say. So let's aim to listen more and interrupt less. Moving on to the second habit, not saying please and thank you. These little words hold a lot of power. They show respect and appreciation for others. If we skip them, it can seem like we're taking people or their efforts for granted. Thirdly, we have the habit of checking our phones while in conversation. This is a modern-day faux pas that screams, "I'm not interested in what you're saying." It's best to keep our phones out of sight when we're engaged in face-to-face conversation. The fourth habit is being consistently late. While we all run behind schedule now and then, making a habit of it sends the message that we don't respect other people's time. Remember, punctuality is a virtue that's universally appreciated. And finally, the fifth habit, not making eye contact. This can be a tricky one, as too much eye contact can be just as off-putting as too little. But when we don't look at people when they're speaking to us, it can seem like we're not engaged or interested in what they're saying. These 5 habits may seem small, but they can have a big impact on how we come across to others. It's not about perfection, but rather about making small tweaks to our behavior that can lead to big improvements in our interactions with others. Are any of these habits familiar to you? Let's move on to the next 5. Continuing on our list, let's explore the next set of habits. Habit 6, avoiding eye contact. It can be uncomfortable for some, but maintaining appropriate eye contact is a mark of respect and attentiveness. When you constantly look elsewhere, it can make the other person feel like you're disinterested or untrustworthy. Moving on to habit 7, checking your phone in a conversation. It's an all too common scene these days, isn't it? You're in the middle of a chat and the other person's phone pings. They glance at it and before you know it, they're engrossed in a text or scrolling through social media. It's dismissive, it's rude, and it sends the message that whatever is on that screen is more important than the person standing right in front of them. Habit 8, interrupting others. We're all guilty of this from time to time. You're so excited about what you want to say that you can't wait for the other person to finish, but remember, everyone deserves to be heard. Cutting someone off mid-sentence can make them feel insignificant and undervalued. Let's talk about habit 9, not saying please and thank you. These magic words are the basic building blocks of politeness. Neglecting to use them can come across as ungrateful and entitled. It's such a simple thing, but it makes a world of difference. And finally, habit 10, not respecting personal space. Everyone has their own comfort zone. Invading this space can be uncomfortable and intimidating. It's important to be mindful of this, especially in close quarters. So there you have it, habits 6 to 10. Each of these behaviors, no matter how small they may seem, can significantly impact how others perceive your politeness or lack thereof. It's not always easy to break these habits, but with a little self-awareness and effort, it's certainly possible. Remember, awareness is the first step towards change. Ready for the next set? We're halfway through our list. Let's keep going. Next up, we've got habit number 11, not respecting personal space. It's like the unspoken rule of human interaction, right? Everyone has an invisible bubble around them, and when you step into it without invitation, it can make people feel uncomfortable. So whether you're at a party, in the office, or just chatting with a friend, remember to maintain a respectful distance. Moving on to habit 12, being consistently late. We all run behind schedule sometimes, life happens, but if you're always the one making others wait, it can come off as disrespectful. It's as if you're saying your time is more valuable than theirs. If you're prone to tardiness, try setting reminders or leaving earlier than you think you need to. It's better to be early and wait a bit than to always be the one who's late. Habit 13 is one that's easy to fall into, constantly interrupting others. It might be because you're excited or you think what you have to say is really important, but remember, everyone wants to be heard. If you're always cutting in, it can seem like you're not interested in what others have to say. So hold off, let them finish, and then share your thoughts. Next, we have habit 14, not saying please or thank you. These are such simple words, but they carry a lot of weight. A little politeness goes a long way. And these magic words show that you appreciate the effort and time others have put in for you. So don't forget them. Finally, for habit 15, not making eye contact during conversation. Now, we're not saying you need to stare people down, but avoiding eye contact can make you seem disinterested or untrustworthy. So when you're chatting with someone, try to maintain a reasonable amount of eye contact. It shows you're engaged and respectful. As we move on to the last 5 habits, take a moment to reflect on these points. And now the final 5 habits that might be making you appear less polite. Let's dive right in. Habit number 16 is not acknowledging when someone else is speaking. This might seem trivial, but it's crucial. If someone is sharing something with you, whether it's their thoughts, feelings, or a story, it's important to show that you're engaged and listening. This doesn't mean you have to agree with everything they say, but simple nods or affirming words can go a long way in showing respect and politeness. Moving on to habit 17, interrupting conversations. It's almost never polite to cut someone off mid-sentence. It can come off as if you're not interested in what they have to say, or that you believe what you have to say is more important. Remember, it's not just about waiting for your turn to speak. It's about genuinely listening and responding to what the other person is saying. Next up, habit 18, not apologizing when needed. We all make mistakes, and that's okay. However, when we do, it's essential to acknowledge it and apologize. An apology shows the other person that you understand your mistake and are taking steps not to repeat it. It's a powerful tool in maintaining healthy relationships and displaying politeness. Habit 19 is overusing your phone. In the digital age, it's easy to get sucked into our screens. However, when you're in a social setting, constantly checking your phone can come off as rude. It gives the impression that you're not fully present or interested in the people around you. Last but not least, habit 20, not saying please and thank you. These magic words are the cornerstone of politeness. They show appreciation and respect for the other person's time, effort, and kindness. Neglecting to use them can make you seem ungrateful or dismissive. And there you have it, the 20 habits that might be making you come off as impolite. Let's wrap things up. So, we've unveiled the 20 habits that can make you appear less polite. We started our journey by understanding the importance of politeness and then stepped into the nitty-gritty of each habit one by one. From interrupting others to not saying please or thank you, from checking your phone constantly to not respecting personal space, we've covered quite a spectrum of habits that can tarnish the image of politeness. It's crucial to remember that none of us are perfect, and it's okay to slip up sometimes. However, being aware of these habits is the first step towards changing them. It's not just about appearing polite, but about genuinely respecting and valuing the people around us. We also discussed how not making eye contact, not listening actively, gossiping, or being too self-focused can make us come across as impolite. We touched upon the importance of punctuality, the etiquette of dining, and the significance of a proper greeting. Each of these habits is a part of a bigger puzzle, the puzzle of politeness. And as we begin to be more aware of our actions, we can start to fit the pieces together. So, let's take this knowledge and make conscious efforts to change, to improve, and to be better versions of ourselves. Remember, politeness isn't about being insincere, it's about showing respect for others. So, start today and make politeness a habit.